response time is 3.3 minutes. We exceed those standards that set on an SSM model, System Status Management model, that we're there right away. A lot of times we'll beat the fire engine there. A lot of times they'll beat us there. But our relationship we share with this fire department is second to none to most of the other fire departments in that they're all emergency medical technicians certified and trained. So if we have a critical patient, we don't have 2 people on the scene, we have 4 people on the scene working on that patient. So if somebody's got to do CPR, if we got to carry somebody out, if we got to get them extracted from a car, all the help is on the scene that we need to render aid to that patient. And if they're not needed, they take their information and go home. Oftentimes, we start rendering care in the back of the ambulance, and then they can depart the scene because they know they've done their job, and there's nothing else for them to do. Or if we say, hey, this guy's bad, hang around a minute, they're there. If they have to jump in the ambulance when it's a ride to the hospital, they go. Never a problem. These guys have been fantastic, and the residents in Dolton probably have one of the finest accesses to emergency medical services in the south suburbs than anybody else.
Gentlemen, it's time.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, just if I could have one last comment. Our building, as I said, is here at Sibley and Avalon. We pay $130,000 a year in property taxes in this town, and we employ 180 people that come in and out and through our building. We are Dolton. We take this town serious. We don't take anything for granted, and everything I've offered is to improve the cost and save this village money. And Mayor, Mr. Urban, trustees, you know what we went through last year and what we had to do and to finance our own business extra to stay in business to protect Dolton. We never hesitated. We were here every minute for this town. Every minute of every day. That's who we are. Thank you very much. I'm sorry. Well, my bad.
Took all the time. I don't know if Chief Hughes or Chief Frankie can answer. Is it a preference for us to keep the 911 in-house or out-house if cost wasn't in that? It seems like it's going to be about extra $100,000 for us to keep it in-house. Does that affect us anyway if the 911 is in-house or out-house? When I say out-house, in a different location.
I wonder what you meant there for a minute.
Is it a preference? I mean, I see it's a price difference. If we outsource it to another building, we would save close to $100K. Is that going to affect us anyway?
As far as police goes, it won't matter either way. As far as police goes, as long as we have a competent staff to get us the calls out as quick as we get them, it won't matter.
I all along just said I didn't want them in the firehouse because there's too much going on. It's supposed to be a secure location. The door is open, people are always walking in, I'm yelling at people to get out of there. It's against the law, you can't be in there. I think somewhere else where Bugs is, they have constant supervision, 24 hours a day. I still, and we've discussed the problems we've had with some dispatchers. I've talked with these 2 gentlemen, and they understand where I'm coming from. I have a good relationship with them where they know that basically they know that me and John are still the boss. This is, we're the chiefs. This is our town, and to go to Cal Park, I don't know what the relationship would be. It's up to you guys. It's a money thing. As for the ambulances, I'm sorry guys, but there's no question I do not want to leave Bugs. I have a structured fire. I have 2 ambulances sitting there, and our town is still covered. Okay, Jack is correct. When the S hits the fan, it seems to happen 3-4 calls at a time. And again, no offense, guys, we do have gunshots. If I am only dedicated 2 ambulances and I have a gunshot, and they're going to Christ, because they have to go to Christ, that ambulance is gone for over 2 hours. Yep. They got to clean the ambulance because there's blood in there. They got to do their paperwork. Now I'm down to 1.5. If it isn't at 12 hours, I'm down to 1 ambulance down there. I'm sorry, I can't have that. It's something that it's they're the people that I'm protecting. This is what I got to take care of. I can't pull an ambulance from a structure. 2 ambulances respond for if it's called a structure fire. They're responding in case there's people trapped. So I need more than one ambulance. They're also there for firemen if they get hurt. I can't tax the Mavis ambulances all the time. Like you said, I think twice since I've been chief, we had to do that. If I have a box alarm fire, I can't call South Talent ambulance because they're at the fire. I can't call Pale City's ambulance because they're at the fire. You know, I'm going 5 towns out now to get another fire where Bud's is already there. So as for ambulance, I feel that they're better. Like I said, I've seen these guys on call when they had to be. If I have 5 calls going on, they jump in the ambulance. So dispatch, I guess you gotta look at the numbers and go from there. But as for ambulance, and I talked with them during our meeting and I told them how I felt about the ambulance. I don't think there's a question there. I'm sorry.
My only question is, we currently pay a lot of money, $860,000 for 911 dispatch. What did you do that's gonna get it down to $595,000 if it's moved into your facility? What's making us pay so much more right now?
Well, we know we have to do this improvement in equipment, and we know we're gonna have to stretch it out over a little time, but we've been able to secure a lot of equipment that's gonna make us state-of-the-art pricing. We've shopped around. Being a private company, sometimes you can hold people's feet to the fire, and I was asked that about, was there any idea of what Chicago Communications quote was gonna be to the village, and that they weren't in yet, but that I need to hold their feet to the fire, and I took Mr. Urban's advice, and I called them, and I got their price immediately within 4 hours, holding their feet to the fire, so your
Bless
advice
you.
was well taken, Steve. Moving it into our building, we already have dispatchers functioning in our office capacity. They're EMT certified. Some of them are already lead certified and work both centers. They go back and forth to the dispatch. And my midnight operations managers, as well as my daily operations manager, are all certified dispatchers. They're certified by leads. They're certified to run the computer system, and they're 911 operators. I don't need as much extra staffing during peak loads that I'm paying overtime for now. I'm going to be able to do it in-house with the people I have. I'll be able to even manage my call-off situation much better and incorporate both centers together. So it's all going to come together in one room, under one roof, with better supervision, where I'm not sending people back and forth, having to have a separate supervisor at that facility, running back and forth to do our building. And also through the difficult times in this town, and everybody knows, somebody said that the switch is about to blow up. Well, we had a problem last Saturday again, and contacted Chief Hughes immediately. Mr. Robertson responded directly to the scene. We had a handset go bad in the dispatch office, which virtually locked up all the phones and the 911 for about 15 minutes. Econ was handling the overrings on the 911, and fortunately there were no emergencies in town, but it was a very scary situation because we've been told there's absolutely no parts. We already own the phone system as well. Just put a card in, stick it in, plug it into the 911 next-gen switch, we're up and running. All those details are worked out for us what to do. So it's less of a labor cost, less of a supervision cost, and we're able to combine the synergies of both the ambulance operation and this operation as well into one location to help reduce the cost. And we know the village has had a tough go of it, but we know what the previous funding went towards building out the infrastructure in our building, because that was always the plan, to move it over. And now that we're at the spot now where we know what the rest of our costs are going to be, that's how we can reduce this rate. And it's centralized. We centralize it, we control it better, we can manage the losses, the work comp, the call-offs, everything much better in our building.
And you say the problem with moving into your facility before was the village.
I'll tell you, it was a guy named Rich Janoway. I'll just throw that name right out there on the table. Rich Janoway. He was a retired lieutenant from the police department who then worked for the village as a part-time consultant, but he acted as the liaison for 911. And he was always able to stop this transition of moving it to our place because he never wanted to lose his part-time gig. And that's really what it came down to at the end of the day. And I know, Mayor, when you were campaigning and came around in the beginning, I told you then, and poured my heart on the table, told you the problems we were faced with this and how you guys were missing this money, that this was something that could be captured back for the village of Dolton. And I think you knew my passion for it back then. It hasn't changed any less.
So, Mr. Daly, basically, how you doing this evening?
Fine, thank you.
Basically, all we really had to do was sit down and negotiate with you, because what you're offering is the same thing, no offense, that Kurt's is offering. It just sounds to be a better deal.
I believe it is.
So had we had the lines of communication not been broken and they stayed open, we could have alleviated all of it.
Trustee Smith, if I can, when I first got this email a week and a half ago, I was at the American Ambulance Association
A week and a half
convention.
ago.
That's when I was asked to submit a bid, a week and a half ago. I got contacted by email by Mr. Urban at 5 o'clock in the evening, his time here. I was in Las Vegas at the American Ambulance Association convention. And yes, I was really at the convention. My wife enjoyed Vegas, I was at the meetings all day long. But while we were, honest, you knew my wife, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
What happened in the
They
Vegas
said, when I got that, I immediately called Tom, who'd already left the office for the day. And the next day, we went to work on putting the bid together, and we had it in his office on time, matter of fact, about an hour early, where we sharpened the pencils every which way we could, because we knew the benefit of putting this in our building. We also had the benefit this year, too, of improving our loss modification on work comp insurance, which is a substantial savings to our company as well. And we've really, really done well with the field and the loss rates of what we've done. All those things help bring our costs down. In addition, we're banking on other people coming in. There's serious discussions going on right now with 3 towns and another center with 3 towns. And had a conversation today with another center who's got bids for people providing service for their center, but they want us to submit a bid to them too, because they got wind of the fact that we do this and we're local, we're from the neighborhood. And this is our home, I'm not turning my back on Dolton. I can't, never would.
Either of your deals contingent upon you getting both 911 and the ambulance, or
No, each contract stands for itself.
everything's independent? How about you?
Well, I'll be candid with you. No, we'll do either or, but just let me make a small rebuttal here because I feel kind of blindsided here. When I first approached the city, I had an opportunity to meet with the chief and other folks within there. And the reason that I submitted my bid was because they told me that you guys were paying $850,000 to dispatch within your firehouse.
860, yeah.
Right. I gave a price that was like $250,000 less. Now they've found all these savings. Chief, you shared with me that you were not satisfied with the service you were getting with dispatch. You told me that you would come in there at times and somebody would be in the bathroom, and other guys outside smoking cigarettes, and there's nobody taking care of the dispatch center. Am I correct or not?
That's it? Yes.
Okay, so I guess if I'm a city council member and I'm sitting up there and do whatever, whatever you see is the best idea, but why all of a sudden, by moving it to his center, if he's got to buy all brand new equipment, does he cut your price by $250,000? Okay, he cut your price by $250,000 because you guys went out and took him out to bid. It's the same exact thing that happened in Tinley. So, the idea here is that are you going to get the $700,000 of new equipment, and are they going to dispatch for $500,000 a year? And if they can, how come they couldn't do that before? And then as far as ambulances go, everything that he's illustrating is illustrating that he's committing 2 ambulances. Okay?
But,
And I know what you're going to say, but they always get you more. But you also have to remember that 15 ambulances are being shared amongst 13 communities. I took my smallest 13 communities, and they're running over 40 ambulances of my 28. They're doing, he says 15, and that's not running around the clock. And you know that, Jack, for 13 communities.
but,
If you want to take that risk, that's up to you.
but, let me give you the history. It isn't a risk. It has happened. They have never not provided an ambulance for me, ever.
Right.
Okay, I understand, I never wanted the ambulance part brought up, I'll be honest with you. And I told you that, did I not?
You did.
Okay. They have never not provided me with an ambulance, ever.
That's great. I'm not
So-
saying their
So
system is
you're trying to
wrong.
make them sound like, I'm gonna call for a 3rd ambulance and it's gonna be in Linwood and I'm not gonna get it. That's not how it
I
happens.
didn't, not looking to confront you, Chief, I'm just telling you the facts.
And I'm just saying, history, what has happened, what is fact, and this community is protected at all times with an ambulance. When their ambulance moves to go on one of our calls, they move an ambulance up, so it's in our town.
We have ambulances too to do that,
But
Chief.
see, you didn't say that.
Okay, let's cut the debate.
I got it.
Let's cut the debate. Both sides has presented their presentation. Trustee,
I do have some, Kurt, I forgot your name, sir.
Tom.
Tom did bring up a good point, though. Your new price is 700,000, we currently being charged 860. I know you have the love for the village of Dolton, your family here. Is there any immediate statements you can do, just good sound faith, because you're gonna charge us 700,000 if you buy new equipment. We have the same old equipment.
That's if we staff your village hall with new equipment.
Yes, right now, we don't have new equipment, and you're charging us $860,000. I mean, that's a huge current. When will we see some savings? When do we wait?
As soon as we sign an agreement, we'll
New
go to
agreements, we can't give us anything before we sign it.
Sure we can, that's something we have to talk about.
Yes, please, someone talk about it, because it's a
But
huge gap.
understand too, though, the one thing when I couldn't finish my presentation is that every piece of computer technology new that's been replaced, every screen, every monitor, every repair that's been done inside that center through Minor, all the paper, all the printers, all the chairs, everything that was supposed to be supplied in that center, we've also taken on the burden of the cost of all of that stuff because the village couldn't pay their bills at the time. When the village fell $800,000 behind, we met with you, we told you, we went to the bank and borrowed an extra $500,000 to stay in business. All that was money we had to pay interest on, which was some other, between the loan for the $500,000 and the servicing of the debt of the line of credit, total well over $100,000 over a 3-year period.
Okay, well, we need to move on to savings.
Mr.
I'm
We
with
need
you,
to move.
I'm with you,
We need to move.
I'm with you.
Mr. Daly.
Yes, ma'am.
In that 700,000, did you not say that was in the process, that was a 5-year period?
No, because we'd have to finance that over 5 years, that $700,000 to get that new equipment. We would get it on the front end, the equipment would be installed and the center would be functional, but I'd have to finance it over 5 years. And Mr. Urban said that was something the village was interested in, wasn't us being able to finance the deals for the village.
So I want to get this correct. If you finance it at $700,000, but in your building, it's $595.
That one cost, there's no additional charges or anything else. We take care of servicing and maintaining every piece of equipment. If we buy the equipment and we put it in and it's owned by the village, then we still have to worry about service maintenance agreements. We have to look at all those angles, what that might cost down the road. We're saying to buy the equipment, install the center and create it and staff it, that's the cost.
And do you have that staffing right now, this minute?
Oh, yeah. We're
And all
doing
of
it
that
right now.
equipment-
We've been doing it for 8 years.
All that equipment and everything is there right now?
I'm
So,
sorry, in our building
like,
in Dolton?
Yeah, so we could move.
No, it would be 90 days before we could have the new gen switch turned on, and then whatever the ICC approval time is to convert the funds back to the village of Dolton for that extra $100,000. Or $120,000, $130,000. It's over $10,000 a month.
And that comes back to the village at all?
That goes back to your joint, or your ESTB 911 account. That's not our money. We turn the switch on, you get the cash.
And Mr. Tom?
Yes, ma'am.
If we go to Cal Park, it's going to be $612,000.
Correct.
If we do it in our building, how long would it take to do it in our new building
Whatever the building is ready.
for the 565?
Whatever the building is ready.
That's not his price.
Yes, it is, right? It is, right here on the paper.
My first price was for just staffing the dispatch center as it exists today, or if it moves into the new center, okay?
So who pays for the move to the new center?
That is gonna be, it's not gonna be a move to, realistically, it's gonna be, everything is gonna be transferred to the new equipment.
Okay.
I don't know what Mr. Daly has in his system or his center right now, and if it's the same equipment that has been spec'd by your dispatch center. And he's not made any mention of your CAD system or anything like that, if it's comparable to what you had spent out, Chief. I don't know if you have one, and if you do, is it?
Ours is also putting the hardware, the nuts and bolts inside the new center. It's to build a completely empty room into a dispatch center. That's why our price is higher. It's labor and the cost of the equipment over a 5-year period to put that equipment in so that the village maintains ownership of the equipment. That's the way this was put together for us.
Okay, so how would that work for you if you had to build a center at the new Village Hall?
It's gonna be the equipment advertised no different than what he's suggesting, but I guess what I'm saying is that our price right now, okay, for moving it into either your new center or into the existing center is under $600,000 there. And the proposal that he's bringing is very similar in cost to bring it into his house, but the question is what equipment does that include? It's not the equipment. My second price to go to Cal Park is all state-of-the-art equipment, computer-aided dispatch, all of the upgrades, all of the switches that he's talking about, all of those things are going to be there. I mean, there are redundancies as far as generators upon generators, battery power, the way they've constructed the building so that in the event of an emergency, this Cal Park's idea is not to just have Cal Park there. They're currently with Blue Island. They're looking to go and reach out and to bring other people into this center. And I mean, if you have a moment, it would behoove you to just go see what it is that they're building. That mayor took a look at options. We took them to Tinley, we took them to Linkaway Dispatch, we took them to ours. We let him see all the equipment so that he knew exactly what he was paying for. I mean, I don't know, it could be the exact same equipment that you're going to. Who knows? I mean, that's why you wouldn't want to look at that.
Mr. Manna, Tom?
Yes, ma'am.
Question. The 911 dispatch seems to be a really hot ticket. So, if we did go with you, not, but hypothetically, we went into this venture and our 911 dispatch center was in Cal Park, who would get the revenues from that?
For the
911. They're going to get the revenues for you, whatever your set fee is. You're going to pay a set fee per month. But all that $100,000 that he's talking about that's going to the state police now, will go to you still. It doesn't matter if I'm dispatching Cal Park. Right now, Blue Island dispatches for Cal Park and 2 other agencies. I mean, Linkaway Dispatch, like I'm talking to you about, that's 5 police and fire agencies as well as, and they all share in the cost. So the idea is that while it may be $600,000 today for you, as they bring in more communities, the idea is that by consolidating this, that we're going to drive your price further down. So,
I'm sorry, I understand that part. Let's get back to what I was asking with the 911 dispatch. Because you're saying one thing, but you're kind of over here shaking your head, and I got to be honest with you, I don't believe in lying. I'm seeing a lot of shaking heads behind you saying, no, that's not true. So I'm not speaking for myself, I'm speaking for the people. And speaking for the people, I need to know if we were to do that, and we're sharing in all of this with Cal Park, Midlothian, this suburb, that suburb, how would they know? When would we get that? I mean, because if a call comes in from Cal Park, then that revenue goes to Cal Park. Call comes in from Blue Island, Dolton, all these different places, even though we're there, how is that revenue divvied up and how is it going to the correct municipalities? Wouldn't we be getting that, or would all of that just be going directly to Cal Park?
no. Your money, your 911 money will go to you. That price is not including your 911 money from Cal Park.
How do you all break that up?
If I could,
You'll get monthly
could I
reports.
interject for a second, just with my familiarity with 911 dispatch centers in other communities. It is very confusing, because if I'm sitting here and I use my phone, who knows where this phone is registered? The FCC does. When I bought this phone, I had to register an address. My address is Woodridge. If I make a call from Cozumel, Mexico for 911, the 911 dispatch money that we're all talking about goes to Woodridge.
Okay.
That's how they determine it. It's all computerized, I guess for lack of better words. It's not cans and strings anymore.
Well,
I guess I'm saying no matter whether you chose us or Buds, the money is going to go the same way. It doesn't matter. This is not something we control.
well, I guess it kind of goes back to the original question then. Why the lines of communication got broke down, and just like you said, there were people in here that did not want to see progression happen, so to speak. So, because had this been taken care of, had it been talked about, we wouldn't be sitting up here for an hour talking about this.
And you'd have a state-of-the-art 911 center functioning, and you could
Because
plug in the building.
I remember when it came my way, but that was months ago. And honestly, it was just to oust you. But see, now I'm hearing things that I've never heard before.
We've been a big proponent of the Smith for a long time.
I know. You were out here when we moved out here in the same spot.
Okay,
I have
thank
nothing else.
you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, board. Thank you very much. Mr. Urban.
Thank you. I will be looking for any and all questions, inquiries that I can field for the board members regarding this topic. I think this topic warrants being put back on the December 15th Committee of the Whole to see where it's all going to go. I will reach out to the administrator at Kell Park and try and set up a meeting with her and the mayor and myself. Other than that, I think we need to move on to the next topic.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead.
The next item under old business, Mayor, is item B. It's a renewal of insurance broker of record for property casualty and workman's compensation. Currently, Wolf Point is our current broker of record. They've had a change of name in the last 12 months, not that that matters, but some of you may not recognize the name. It was under the Saval Group before. They dropped off some booklets today. I dropped them off for you. You also received some packets last week that I solicited regarding insurance companies. I sent out 6 requests. I got 2 back. And I'll ask whoever's going to represent Wolf Point to come on up.
Is there only one insurance person here right now?
Yes. Just one.
Just one emotion. Only person here?
Nobody else was invited because they didn't get any feedback from the board. I supplied information over a week ago and didn't get one feedback.
It's only for a year.
I hope you make it.
Never got back to me. That was last Monday. I asked for an answer by Tuesday. I haven't heard from you since. No, that's when you called about the 911, excuse me, the 9% IMRF, and I wasn't with my wife.
First of all, I would like to thank all of you for coming together and gathering all the information that we needed to present the renewal pricing to you. I know the binders with the renewal pricing was just dropped off today. I hope you had some time to review it. And what I'd like to do is just briefly go over it and answer any of your questions. Do you have those binders that were dropped off today? Or?
They were all distributed earlier this afternoon.
Personally, I am upset because this should have been to us by Wednesday of last week. Because there's no way I can speed read through this in 1 hour or 2 hours.
And this is just how this was done last year.
So, this is the renewal proposal. Basically, we were working with Mr. Urban on the renewal. We didn't get the information we needed until the Friday before Thanksgiving. And actually, we didn't hear about the RFP until it was sent to us. So, us being the current broker, the board never voted on going to an RFP, so we were just going through the renewal process. So, I called Trustee Brown and said, are you happy with my service? I see you're going to an RFP. And he hadn't been informed that you were going to an RFP. So he said, well, just present your renewal. And because he hadn't had any conversation with Mr. Urban about that. So we just prepared actually over the holiday, got the renewal prepared for you.
Why didn't we do an RFP?
Off the board to request one.
I did
The
put out
board
a
didn't
request.
request an RFP. You went through, and this was a very sensitive and delicate issue last year.
It was.
You jammed this down our throat.
Sure did.
It cost us an increase for this village. Now, when our medical insurance went out, you insisted that we do an RFP to get, just like you got 2 presentations tonight here, but yet and still, this insurance costs us, this village, additional money, but you don't want to put it out to bid so someone else can get another chance, at it to bring up the premium down. So, on one end, you want an RFP for certain situations, but on the other end, you don't. Why not?
Are we
Hold
gonna
on.
have a like
Hold on.
respect?
Hold on.
Get some order, Frank.
Hold on.
People speaking out don't even live in the village.
Man, tell me about
Hold
it.
on. I just make it clear to the residents here, make it clear to this board, the rest of the board, that in some occasions you want, just like you had tonight, 2 presentations for the business, but yet and still, you want to give an okay and make it quick, like Trustee Hunt said, to approve this entity.
Well, the reason I say make it quickly, there's only one insurance company here right now. I didn't invite them. Stan Urban's job was to invite the insurance companies. The other insurance companies didn't have enough to even come here to make a presentation.
They weren't
They
invited,
know, I'm not gonna invite them. I mean, that's on your administrator, not inviting them. So don't put it on us that they weren't here to present something.
They weren't invited.
Well, I don't know why they weren't invited.
They weren't invited. So I think.
You can't put it on me and say that we stuffing them down your throat when they can't.
Well, I thought Stan tried to go out.
Inviting.
Stan tried to go out for an
Yeah, well,
RFP,
yeah.
and he was told that he didn't have the authority to go out for an RFP. Now ask him when he comes back who told him that.
What are you leaving for? If he doing all the inviting, he's the host.
And I also saw an email by you, Trustee Hunt, that said, put him on the agenda to be approved.
Because I'm satisfied. We had three different insurance companies come before the board
When?
last year.
Oh, come on.
They did. They had 3. You don't remember the grandstanding? And we had 3 different insurance
Oh, yeah, I
companies.
remember the Orange
Do you
Group,
remember that?
Memorial.
So we had
You picked
3.
the one
I
that
don't
charges the highest
think we need to do RP every single year.
And you picked the one that charges the highest premium and had the least experience.
The highest premium, that's
highest
inaccurate.
premium was
That's
on.
an inaccurate statement. Can
It's
you
not
speak on the
inaccurate.
premium? Because
It's
he keeps
not,
saying that.
it's not
So I want,
inaccurate.
can you
It's not an
Can you
inaccurate
talk about the
statement.
premium, because he keeps saying that over and over again,
Look,
which is a
You
false
saw
statement.
the numbers, you put them
I mean, let
together.
him speak, he's here now.
Yeah, but I
He
don't
can
want
defend the numbers better
you
than
know
I
what,
can
we shouldn't be
defend
arguing about it. It's just not right to give this to us at the last minute today and expect us to vote on it. The same thing was done last year. We had it for 5 minutes and then we were told to vote on it. I'm just telling you
Thousands
it's
of
not right.
dollars in premiums it costs this residents.
May I
Thousands of dollars in settlement.
Our renewal process as an agency is 150 days prior to your renewal when we start looking internally at your account.
Okay.
So what we do at 150 days is we review again your policies, your claims history, your loss summary, your retentions, your carriers, and everything internally. At 120 to 90 days is when we reach out to get specs to be put on the agenda, to get information that we need, including financial information, including exposure changes, including everything that we need to present you a proper renewal in a timely fashion. Our procedure is to get a presentation in front of you at least 2 months prior to the renewal. Unfortunately, we weren't given that opportunity because we were missing information. We cannot present you a quote with information that is not accessible to us. The only people that can give us that information are the people from the village, including Mr. Urban. And I know that he had been corresponding with us throughout this entire process and getting us the information as readily as it was available, as far as I understand. However, if we don't have the information, we cannot give you quotes. We have to have basic information to get you quotes. You have a retention. A retention is the money that the village is paying before a claim goes to the carrier. They have to make sure that they have financial information that most people should be able to provide much earlier than we are getting. And we're still missing information. We had to push to get these quotes released just so that you had something.
Okay, you said 150 days, correct?
Yes.
When does renewal take place? What's the date of renewal?
December 31st.
December 31st.
Right.
So you're saying that you just now starting to get the information?
Within the last couple months, yeah. We're still missing
Within
information.
the last couple months. When did you first request the information?
I don't have the exact date.
Are you Anna?
Yes.
Hold
Actually,
on, I
had
tell you.
met with Mr. Stan Urban about, I would say, 4 months ago, and we went over the renewal and the current coverages, and I kind of, at the end of our meeting, went home and kind of elaborated everything that we talked about and sent out a email breaking down everything that was needed to get the renewal pricing.
Okay, and what are you missing?
We're just missing the reviewed supplemental application, which I was able to use the expiring one, which that would need to be reviewed prior to the renewal.
So, that's the only thing you were missing?
That we're
Well,
still missing.
And it's extremely fundamental to getting.
Okay. And what does that information provide you with?
It provides you with all of your exposures, limits, and that's what the premium's based on.
Basically everything that the policy is underwritten on.
Mr. Irving?
Yes.
November 21st.
4 months.
I do not come prepared to go battle tonight,
Okay.
but I know that I did not receive any emails with a formal request until the month of November at some
Yeah,
point.
okay. November 21st to be
I'm
exact.
not here to dispute, yes, there was contact, I did meet with Anna, if I may call you Anna, back 3 or 4 months ago. It was a very cordial meeting. It was the first time that I had anyone from the Wolf Point visit Dolton and request a meeting since they were given the broker of record in December of last year.
Okay.
That's
both
not
of you
accurate.
said-
Completely in.
That's not accurate.
Okay.
We came out 30 days after the renewal and met with Mr. Urban over the risk management binder and the claims, and we were ready and prepared to meet
If I may
and
finish, I
update.
also went to your office in Glen Ellen and met with the TPAs also. But someone coming in, whether it was February or March or April, no one came in until June after those initial meetings. Is that correct?
You met in our office to meet with us on the TPA prior to the workers' comp renewal, which would have been an integral part to renew the workers' comp, and you had advised us that it was easier to meet at our office because you live closer
Correct.
there.
And that was back in the winter months,
That
January.
was before the 401 renewal, our move that we made on the workers' compensation.
And then
And then
after
after
that,
that, we came out to meet on a risk management plan and
One
overview
time.
of all your claims.
and that was in
And then-
February,
And then
if I'm not
IPRF,
mistaken.
who is who the workers' compensation carrier that we switched you to, has come out and met with you one occasion to go over your safety and risk management and to determine what needs the village has and to update their safety manual and help assist on training.
That
And
was
2
them, yes.
additional training sessions.
That
Well,
was with
that's
the police department.
correct. Right.
I'm talking about representatives from Wolf Point. From February until give or take June or July, I hadn't seen or heard of anybody. And from June or July until just the flurry of emails that started mid-November, I hadn't heard from anybody.
But that is not accurate. I could pull up the emails. I've had a lot of correspondence with you in regards to several
Can
different
I
things.
ask a question? How did you notify the village that you changed names?
We
We
sent
sent a letter
letters,
to all of our
letters to
customers.
each trustee, the
I-
mayor, yourself.
I will stand on my brother's grave and tell you the only letter that I got was when I sent an email to you, Samantha, that bounced back saying we changed our name, but I still got the
But that's
email.
not accurate because our Saval email is still open, so
It
if
is,
the
but
email
that's how I
bounced
found
back-
out.
that
That's
email-
how Steve from the TPA, CCSMI, called me the same day and said, oh, did you know they changed their name? I said,
The
no.
email that you got bounced back was just another notification for the people in the event that our customers did
I
not
would
get a
like, I would
letter.
request seeing the notification letter that was mailed out,
When
but I
did you
never
send
saw
me a
it.
letter?
We sent everybody, including you, sir.
When?
Right when we changed the name.
You got a copy of the letter you sent me?
Not with
Not
us.
with
I
us, we
can-
didn't know that.
Okay, I didn't get any correspondence from you, to be quite honest with you.
And I'm sorry I had to leave the room again, but I'm not feeling well. Yes, I was here with the fiasco that I inherited at this very first meeting 12 months ago, when, yes, there were 3 different brokers. They were not asked to be here, they were told to be here. There was never an RFP that went out. Mesereau was here because they were the broker of record in 2012-13. Owens Group was here because the mayor appointed him at some point after he was elected. These folks came in because they were asked to come in by, I don't know who. But there was never a formal RFP. And if anything that we should learn from every RFP that we have done since I have been here, this village has saved money. So I asked, why not do an RFP? That's the end of my speech, I'm sorry.
But while you're doing RFP, inform us that RFP is going out. That's all.
It's my job to inform the board with intelligent decision-making information. I solicited it from 6 different agencies. Only 2 responded. I never got anything from Wolf Point until you had called me questioning why I sent out RFP. I didn't ask for what the dollars and cents are gonna be. I asked for a request for proposal, not dollars and cents. They didn't respond. They didn't feel they had to, I guess. You have to ask them.
The
Based
thing
on
of
what
it was, I had no idea because I was asked about RFP and no other trustees knew about RFP. And it
Did you
was
know
asked-
there was an RFP out for the
But you should've-
Kurtz
you should've
in
let the board
911,
know
sir?
you was sending out RFP.
Sir, I notified the board of
You
a
did
million,
not.
I notified the
You did
board
not.
of a million
Trustee
different
Brown.
things.
You did
And
not.
I'm getting tired of not
You
getting a
did not
response.
inform
This is
me.
what I'm talking about.
You did not inform
This is what I'm
the
talking
board.
about, trustee
You should
Brown.
inform the board that you was sending out an RFP. That's all we
Sir, I'm
asked.
still waiting for a response from last Monday from you.
I responded to you.
No, you didn't, sir.
Yes,
It
I
was
did.
about what you wanted to do with the tax levy. You never responded.
I asked you about the RFP, Mr.
Yeah, what time was that? Well, I was at home already?
But you said call every time, Mr.
How
You
did
said
you,
you can
how
always
how
contact.
did you guys get to Wolf Point? I mean, is that a different company? Is that somebody you joined?
We changed the name. I bought out my business partner in May 1st. We changed the name to June 1st
Okay,
and moved our office downtown.
okay.
And we sent out over 1,600 letters to clients.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I
I'll
didn't
get you a
let-
copy of the letters.
If I may, the RFP was just an information request. It wasn't a request for pricing. As Mr. Urban did confirm back to us, it was not asking for pricing from these other agents. The RFP was asking for a summary of services. One of the reasons why we were confused is because we were already the agent, so we weren't understanding what we were looking for. We were trying to get a proposal together with the limited information and missing information as fast as possible so we wouldn't be in this situation again. Because this is not how we like to operate. We want to be in here early enough so you can have the time to go over and make educated decisions and change your exposures and limits if you need to and talk about these things. This is not,
And possibly get other requests from RFP. And possibly get other competitors to come in and give us some pricing, so we can, as Mr. Urban said, try to save some money. And that's exactly what happened here tonight. Exact same thing.
Mayor, if I
So-
may,
Yes, go ahead.
can we get to the question, just so the residents can get out of here at a decent time, 'cause we got one more.
Well, I can understand the decent time, but I can understand also the thousands of dollars that it
Right, I
cost
want them to
us.
talk about that, we studied different, they're not even talking about the numbers yet. Can we get to that? Just saying,
Well, they said they don't have all the information.
okay.
No, I think the page that they do, one of the
were
things they
able
do
to
have
do it-
pricing.
We were able to do it with the limited information. We'll need to, after we present this, just clarify with Mr. Urban, but the pricing won't change. We just need him to sign off on the application that we mostly completed.
I think we need to go out for an RFP. This is a lot of money, and it hits the village when we're in the most need right now for the best bang for our buck, so to speak. And for us to just assume that somebody can walk in here and give us this 2 hours ago, or 3 hours ago, and we're not here, I was, but the rest of the board wasn't here. How can we make I can't do speed reading. I don't want to do speed reading. I want to study it, know what it is. But I think we also need to have other people's stuff too, so we can see there's merits of just what we did with the police and with the ambulances and the 911 system.
And you know, Trustee Henry, you were concerned about the awakening, replacing people, coming in front of the board, you know, what it was gonna cost us. And, you know, and I think this is the same exact situation. We need to,
You didn't even give them
other
time
than,
to speak about it.
other than it's
So,
gonna cost us
can't judge a book
thousands
by a
of
cover
dollars
story in the book of-
versus an hourly rate with the employee from Wakeland.
I
But the
haven't
thing
heard
is,
anything.
I don't know what's in here. Do anybody know what's in
Well,
here?
then how about I make a motion to
Let them
table
speak
this?
about it.
Yeah, I
Maybe
read
we
what
know.
was in there.
What's the figure?
I
But
have-
I don't know.
Yeah.
Go to the place, go to the tab called premium summary. Go to the tab called premium summary, it's right here. I'm telling you the truth,
I'm
go
looking
to
for
the
you.
tab premium summary.
Motion to table? Because this is just gonna go over and over, and, I'm sorry,
Second?
November 21st.
Okay, there's been a motion to table against
Don't we
that.
have just?
We just got to December 31st. What's going on
I made
now?
a motion to approve, and that was not recognized by this board.
Well,
If
it
we're talking about
wasn't
motion,
seconded.
then motion
It
is
wasn't
Second,
seconded.
so it dies for a second.
So it dies, and now table motion came
We
up.
have a motion to table it, and you got a second.
Just take your table back, Sabrina. That's all you have to do.
I
Just
didn't
take your
hear,
table
well,
back.
let me say this. I didn't hear a motion to approve, and the clerk just brought it to our attention. She didn't hear a motion to approve.